What's up, family? This is your man, not your boy, bringing you another gold nugget that you can either pick up or you can just kick it aside. Peace and blessings to each and every one of you all as you all come in. I'm telling you all right now, I've been traveling like crazy. I just left Asia, me and my beautiful wife, Malaysia, Thailand, Singapore, got kicked, wouldn't even be allowed in Vietnam. And then we went to Abu Dhabi, spent 9 days there to go ahead and end our beautiful 1 month trip celebrating our anniversary. And I'm back here in Ghana. And I'll say that the dollar has risen. Now it's at 13.4 to 1 CD of Ghanaian's dollar itself. And there's things that has been transpired and changed since the last time I've been here. Back in December, left out of here the 4th of January. So let's get into a little things, because I find it amazing that the people I've just come across, 3 people, Ghanaians, who share some stuff with me. Before I get into that, yes, hello to each and every one of you all, peace and blessings, grand rising, and all that to everybody that's out here. I want to drop some gold nuggets at you guys' feet, because I've been doing this here YouTube for the last 3 years, go black to Africa, and I'm starting to transition over into other things, but my heart still is for our people who feel as though that they have not reached the pinnacle of their so-called grand heights of life. And that I believe that Africa is the place. 54 countries. I've been to 33 African countries, but yet I want you all to know that there is a greater place beyond than just damn Erica. That's right. Put the D in front of America, capitalize the E, damn Erica. But you're going to find that there are even other countries that you might find that might be more liberating or freedom to your lifestyle, to the way you believe in your life system, and the way you are as a man or a woman, or as a family. The title that I put here is I'm stealing from Ghana because Ghana stole from me. And I want to play this video, and I want each and every one of you all to listen what this brother got to say. A brother who parents came from Africa, moved to America, and he has his own belief, and I believe that everybody has their own belief and their opinions, their views, and I respect it. Doesn't mean I have to agree with it, but I respect it. I know there are many people who disagree with what I say, but don't take offense to it. Hey, I'm one man, one pebble in the sand out of billions of people on this earth. The question is, can you salvage what you can apply to your life and cause a great change, so that your life is not stagnant, that is not on hold, that you're not being held down, held back by the so-called systems that might be in place that will keep you from advancing into your full potential, as I like to call it. Let's get into this video right here. Let me share my screen, and we're going to go ahead and get into this young man's his thoughts on him and how America's great to him and all that there. I'm hoping this right here is going to work. So y'all have to be a little bit patient with me so that I can see if this is going to even be up to par. So let's just see here. Let me move on here. Let me see if I'm going to be able to hear this.
It's not where we're from, but where we choose to be that really matters. I know I look black, but I'm not. My parents are East African. They come from this little country called Eritrea. I don't like to talk about it because I consider myself American first. And I know a lot of you are not going to like to hear that, but it's true. I was born in America, raised in America. My values are American despite eating Getcha Fit every morning. I love this country for what it represents. The place where you can have a crazy idea and pursue it to your heart's content. You don't need permission from anyone, which is why it's called the land of opportunity. Not because it gives you resources, which it doesn't. Not because there are government support systems, which there aren't. It's the freedom to go do something, to succeed or fail. It's all on you. And that's a tough reality to accept. But those who never had the chance see why it's so beautiful. Like my parents who came to America, who somehow built a life together. My dad tells me stories of the journey and his experiences. And I realized despite whatever I accomplish in life, there will be nothing I could ever do that will be as hard as moving across the ocean to build a new life in a new country, speaking a new language in a new culture. He misses his home. He loves Eritrea. But his choice to come here is the reason why I get to be American. It's not where
All
we're
right. So, let me go ahead and I want to kind of dissect what he says because, he says some very important things. Yet, there's some things too also that I want to bring to light in my experience of traveling Africa, traveling the world, to where, many people have this belief of countries providing you these opportunities. So let's get into and dissect what he says.
It's not where we're from, but where we choose to be that really matters. I know I look black, but I'm not. My parents are East African. They come from.
He says he looks black, but he's not. Let me say this right here, and I'm going to get onto the topic of Ghana stole from me, so I'm going to steal from Ghana. But what did Ghana steal? And what am I stealing? This young man has said he knows he knows he look black, but he's not. But many people in Eritrea, those who are in Ethiopia, don't consider themselves to be black. That doesn't bother me one bit. It doesn't bother me at all, really. I mean, if you don't believe that you're black, that's okay. Hey, I see you're brown. And if you want to look at a color or anything, I understand that. But when it comes to what he's saying that, he's not black, he's Eritrean, but yet he don't even consider himself that even. Let's go into a little further. Let me back it up and let's go a little further into what he's saying.
Matters. I know I look black, but I'm not. My parents are East African. They come from this little country called Eritrea. I don't like to talk about it because I consider myself American first. And I know a lot of you are not going to like to hear that, but it's true. I was born in America, raised in America. My values are American despite eating Getcha Fit every morning. I love this country for what it represents. The place.
Now, he said a lot there. And let me swing this right here. Let me say this right here. He considered himself American. He made a very powerful statement. His mind, his ideologies, his way of life makes him American. What I cringe on is the fact that the detriments that America have done, the evilness that America has done. Where does America stand? What moralities does Americans stand on? What do their agendas do they push? Who do they actually support and who they don't support? Who do they actually will give respect to and those they don't give respect to? He believes that because his parents had left Eritrea, came over to America, left their country, crossed the oceans of the Atlantic, crossed the Atlantic Ocean to start a new life, and had the opportunity to do well. He loves America. Let's flip that over. How many people have left America, the UK, Canada, South America, who of African descent because their parents have left? went to other countries because the country that they were from in Africa wasn't up to par. It was colonized. It was a new beginning of independence. It was in disarray. There was no functionality that was going on. It was a destabilized system. The economy was deplorable. It was Western countries that were penetrating it and raping and robbing from it. There was no avenues of upward mobility. There was no opportunity for people to be able to be established because there was no system or standards that were in place. I understand why they left. But what about us who have left these countries, come to Africa because we say that we're looking for a better start? Now stay with me because I'm going to get to the title of the subject, which is I'm stealing from Ghana because Ghana stole from me. The young man made a profound statement because he identifies being American. He's been born and raised there. He's become it. He thinks it. He behaves that way. But he's missing out on some other important factors that I have already mentioned. Something that I think is a little bit more important than just a business opportunity or money-making opportunity. Now, we know money, it rules the world, and we know money makes things happen. We know money can put you in places that you've never been before. You can live lifestyles, you can buy things and all that right there. I have screamed, argued, yelled, debated about the fact that Africa gives you more opportunity because you're the opportunity. Now, let me get down here to Ghana. Before I even get there to Ghana, well, no, I'm going to go ahead and start here with Ghana. I got here the other day. I've been here back in Ghana for 2 days. Peace and blessings to the Ghanaians that are here. I love Ghanaians, but the culture itself needs to be waking up to see how it's behaving. Not everybody I'm talking about, but I'm talking about a large majority, because as soon as I got here, I had to take an Uber, and the brother who picked me up, this is what he said. He said that the people are evil. I said, what? I wanted to turn on my phone real quick and say, man, brother, you got to report. Why are you saying this about your own people? He said, because it's true. He said, man, you know, I've been in he said, I said, you're Ghanaian? He said, yeah. He says, my grandmother had land. And that's why I told you all, don't buy land in Ghana. For those who are very skeptical and don't know what you're doing, don't buy land in Ghana, because Ghana is at a threshold of trying to find its way into getting a system in place so that these scams and schemes don't really happen to you all. It's trying its best to, but the corruption is so thick that it's hard to even know who is who. But the young man said, not a young man, he's 62 years old, but he told me, he said, you know, my people are evil. He said, man, my grandmother owned land. I fought for the last 13 years against a corrupt, evil judges, lawyers, and the man who actually took the land. That he said, I gave up. I said, okay, so like what happened? He said, you know, the land that my mother had, the government used the land. And then on the land was their house, but the government had used the land, and apparently that the land was in their family for all these years. But then the government then turned around and decided not to use the land, and somehow the grandmother got backdoored by somebody who turned around and sold a portion of a land under the auspices of a government. And this other individual who came along, who has a lot of money, according to him, states that he wind up wanting to get that land and took it to court, saying that the land was not his grandmother's. Now, everybody's got their own story. I've heard many of these stories and all that right there. Let's not even get focused really on the land part of it. What I'm getting focused on is what I'm trying to show a people, especially Ghanaians who's going to watch this, is the fact that your own people, I hear y'all say it all the time, you can't trust your own mother, father, brother, sister, the auntie nobody, because people are after you. If you got a little bit of money, if you got a little land, if it looks like that you got an advance over them, they're going to try to come over and take a little bit of what it is. Some will even try to kill you. This is not what I'm saying. This is what I was told. Well, how does this apply? Go back to Ghana. I'm going to steal from Ghana because Ghana stole from me. Let me say this again. There are many of our brothers and sisters who are here on the ground, who come from America, UK, and Europe, and all these other places, who are doing business. So I don't want to cut really the beast at his feet and make it seem as though that Ghana is just not for everybody. Is not like that. There are people who come here who are doing businesses and are doing well. Some people do not have the tenacity of striving to be right, or not striving to be right, but does not have a strive for a people to be right. What do I mean by that? I try to hold myself accountable to the Most High, and I make sure that, because the Most High watches everything I do. So for me to sit and be dishonest and not showing integrity and being a liar and a schemer and a scam and a cheat and a whatever it is, how can I expect to do business with somebody who behaved in that fashion? The man was so upset, calling his people evil, that it left another impression upon me. And lo and behold, it came to the point the next day, I called an Uber driver who said, man, these people out here are wicked. And I said, what do you mean? And he said, he had a problem with his car. He said, I just had to buy an engine for this car. And I said, oh yeah? I said, well, how much was it? He said, $7,500. I thought he meant US dollars. I said, why don't you buy another vehicle? He said, I can't afford to buy another vehicle. I said, $7,500, you can buy another. He said, no, CDs. I said, oh, okay. I said, but why do you say the people are wicked? He says, man, you know how I tore my engine up? He said, these people out here, they can go ahead and take brand new oil containers that how you go in the store and you buy a liter of oil, and you can go ahead and put in your engine or whatever, or have oil change and stuff. They're so crafty that they can put junk oil in that looks like oil, but it's not oil. It can be at it can be at like a cooking oil level, and yet you don't even know, while you go buy this oil from a store and have somebody put it in your car, it blew up his engine. And he said, man, the people are wicked here. Now, I'm not coming hard on just Ghanaians. That's just the world. The world is evil and wicked. If you don't understand scriptures, ancient writings, or the scrolls, you're going to always be taken advantage of, because your trust is going to be into man. That's why I'm always having my head on a swivel. I always approach things pessimistically. I always look at people sideways, because people are just wicked and evil. Where am I going with this? You say, go back. I've said I have to say this. I have to say this. Ghana, let me back up. Paul Kagame in Rwanda took on a task to become a president, very firm president, one who wiped out corruption in the country. Many people call him a dictator, but what he did for that country is mind-blowing, as many people will call it. He had to rid the evil out of the country. He had to heal a people who were against each other. He had to bring on a new government system so that it can benefit the people in the country when it comes to imports and exports, when it comes to doing agriculture and tourism and all these things. He has kept himself in power for the last 24 years because he knows that if he walks away today, because I was there twice in Rwanda and interviewed people, you're going to find that people's hearts, many hearts still have not been healed. And of course not. We know it takes people years to overcome tragedies like a genocide or people who harmed or hurt you. I'm always pray for Rwanda. But Paul Kagame, and what he's doing, he has made a move. When you go to Rwanda, you got police on every street light. You have the eyes and the ears on the streets. I've been followed in Rwanda. They're making sure the outsiders do not come in and start a rift between a people or try to bring up like genocide and things like that, that can cause a so-called stirring up of a flame, a fire, that it will cause a dysfunction in this society. He has kicked out other country ambassadors because of the behaviors and the raw deals they've been doing. In Ghana, for their next presidency, is going to take a man like that. Now, I'm not here to crush on Ghana's government. The government's going to do what the government's going to do. I can't say the government is corrupt to a point. I'm talking about the presidency. I can speak on my experiences of certain departments in the government that has scammed me or taken advantage of me. I'm not going to go on a limb and say, oh, the president of the president of Ghana is corrupt. I can't go that far to say that. The people say that. I don't say that. Only the Ghanaians know who the people are and all that there. But what I will say is that I've learned here in Ghana from the locals. Let me continue with this video first, because what this guy is going to talk about liberty. People think the more liberty and freedom you have, the better off you are. And that's a lie. Just because you have the freedom to do something doesn't mean it needs to be done. But let's get back into what this young man had said. One second, bear with me. Okay. I'm playing around with this thing here to make sure I get the best. Okay, here. So let me remove this. Okay. Okay, here we go. Let me do this right here. Entire screen. So let me go back a little bit for those who just came in and play this video. And then I'm gonna pause again.
It's not where we're from, but where we choose to be that really matters. I know I look black, but I'm not. My parents are East African. They come from this little country called Eritrea. I don't like to talk about it because I consider myself American first. And I know a lot of you are not going to like to hear that, but it's true. I was born in America, raised in America. My values are American despite eating Cashapp fit every morning. I love this country for what it represents. The place where you can have a crazy idea and pursue it to your heart's content. You don't need permission from anyone, which is why it's called the land of opportunity. Not
that right there is a lie. You don't need permission from anyone. Of course you need permission from somebody. You want to start a business, you got to get permission. You got to have the money, you got the capital, you got to find a place, you have to get licenses, you have to get credentials, you have to get degrees, you have to get all the things. That is not true exactly what he's saying, you know, but I'll tell you this, in Ghana, you don't. Africa, you don't. You don't need that. And I'm going to get into this corruption thing and how it's a disadvantage sometimes by the liberties you have here in Africa that is causing the chaotic system that is in place that's causing so many people to suffer. Let me continue with this video.
your heart's content. You don't need permission from anyone, which is why it's called the land of opportunity. Not because it gives you resources, which it doesn't. Not because there are government support systems, which there aren't. It's the freedom to go do something, to succeed or fail. It's all on you. And that's...
He's right about that. And that also applies here in Ghana, and I will get into it.
tough reality to accept. To those who never had the chance, see why it's so beautiful. Like my parents who came to America, somehow built a life together. My dad tells me stories of the journey and his experiences, and I realize despite whatever I accomplish in life, there will be nothing I could ever do that will be as hard as moving across the ocean to build a new life in a new country, speaking a new language in a new culture. He misses his home. He loves Eritrea, but his choice to come here is the reason why I get to be American. It's not.
So, you know, what I'm going to say is not necessarily true. It's just his opinion, his view. But we have to look at it really in a close, in a really, let's magnify it, let's just say. Because yes, in America, you know, if you got the capital, if you got the drive, if you got the know-how, it's who you know, yes, you can go ahead and go do those things that you want to pursue. In Ghana, anything goes. Anything goes. Let me say this right here. Number one, I'm thankful to the Most High that I'm walking on the path of righteousness. I would eat Ghana up. If I was still in the development I was in my 20s, I would tear up Ghana. Because of the corruption. And when I say corruption, this is what I mean by corruption. There is not a stronghold on the daily business of the system. The police officers, they stop you, they're gonna want money from you, right? Immigrations, you go there are people who have side hustles that will take your paperwork in and then pay people inside to go ahead and maybe get some things done. Okay, you know, I call it, you know, the VIP treatment, you know, expediting your paperwork. You know, you could do those things, but those who don't pay that money, your paper's going to sit there forever. You know, I just got my deed for my property here, or my apartment here in Ghana, and it took a whole freaking year, even though I paid money still. But those people who chose to do whatever they wanted to do, maybe got paid more money from other people. My paper took the back seat. It is what it is. But what I'm saying is that the corruption because of the liberty of the lack or the lawlessness of a system caused chaos. What does that mean? Many people here are making side hustle money, and many people don't mind how the business is done usually because people are getting paid. You know, when I was in Tanzania, Magufuli, bless his soul, bless his efforts, then what he did for Tanzania, he was ridiculed, ostracized about his tactics of being a firm, strong leader to rid corruption out of a system, because he said it robs everybody. If you have the small few people who are in a governmental system who are scandaling and taking up money and causing a system to backlog, causing a system to slow roll, causing a system to be corrupt and only favor those who got money, meaning those who can come in and just lay money on the table and get things done, everybody else suffers. When you have those who might be in the higher echelons of the government who are getting paid under the table by other countries, and yet they're coming in and taking the resources out of the country, and yet they're keeping it for themselves, and yet the money should be going to infrastructures and good electricity plants and water system treatment systems and waste systems, and you know, the railroads and highways and parks and everything. These things begin to falter and fall apart. You'll begin to watch everything crumble. This is what I see. And so when I told many people, Africa, you got more freedom and liberty to do. The problem of the liberties when you give people is the fact that if there's no structure, order, or discipline, it will become chaotic. The people are now beginning to talk. What do I mean by that? I just gave you two examples. Two people have already called their own people wicked and evil. This is spreading amongst, because there are those people who are getting sick and tired of people doing corrupt things. You can imagine buying your bottle of oil that's going to put in your car, and your car blows up because freaking the stores are taking the real oil out, selling it for higher prices to these jokers out here, and selling you, the consumer, vegetable oil to put in your car, and you blow up your engine and you get sick and tired and frustrated. So what happens is corruption now makes a man evil. People have distrust for one another. People begin to take advantage of each other. People begin to go ahead and start to fight. They begin to start to kill. And all of a sudden now what you're going to have, you have a revolution, because people get sick and tired of the broken promises by those who make these outlandish promises that they cannot keep. So then when you see that, even when you have law issues that you have to deal with, when you have land taken from you, or you are in a car accident, or somebody steals from you, and somebody can pay the police officer to ignore or put a blind eye to your situation, or a judge who can go ahead and just write on the paper and give it to somebody else, or you invest $1 million on some land and somebody comes back and pays a government official $2 million because they want that land to build a hotel on the water. And then all of a sudden now everybody's suffering. It trickles down all the way to the lowest man. So the people say, I'm stealing because Ghana stole from me. This is the attitude. This is what the behavior I'm seeing. If they're taking, I'm taking. I'm telling y'all, thanks to the Most High, that I have an integrity about me, because I'm telling you, I would be a pimp here. I would be running these prostitutes. I would be running the drugs here. I would be running the daggone. I would definitely have a mobster gang here. I would run and I would control this country. We know how to do it coming from America. And that's easy when you're talking about people who want money. And then I rode around with my gang mobsters and built a mobster gang. We know that we've dealt with that in America. But you think the mindset hasn't started already here? They got that here at a small level. I'm watching the prostitutes. A brother told me yesterday, Ghanaian, he said, man, women that you never would imagine are selling themselves now. You can't even date a woman unless you got to pay. You got to pay now. I said, that's America. The women in America is the same way. The world is changing so much that it's like everything is about money. And the social media is what pumps it and pushes it. Everything is about the money, and people are selling their souls for it. This is why I say that the government systems don't ever do anything for you. This is why I have never voted in my life. Oh my God, you're the problem, Go Black, because there's people who have died and marched and protest for Black people in America to vote. You tell me, has anything gotten better? I have realized that when I came out of darkness, living in the world, I subscribe to a greater kingdom. Ever since I walked in the light, I've been blessed. Everything I touch turns to gold. Everything, because when I do right, right comes back to me, and the favors of those will open their arms up to me. I'm the opportunity. You got to realize that, y'all. It's not the country that gives you the opportunity. How do you think that countries give you opportunity? It's you. That's why I said you come to Ghana, it's wide open. Liberties and freedoms, everything goes here. Anything goes here. You want to do whatever you want to do, you can do. Do you know why? Because the law is not looking out for the betterment of the country. The system in place, everybody from the little boy on the street is entangled into the corruption of trying to get a little piece of the pie in order to survive. Anything goes here. And I'll say this again, this is not against any Ghanaian. Man, I know beautiful people who are upright, standing people in Ghana, who is doing the right thing, stand on the right path, and trying to do it. You know, shout out to my brother David. Shout out to my brother Duncan. Shout out to my sister Joanne. Shout out to, I got so many shout outs to people, man, who are trying to do right, trying to walk forward, trying to be upright. I know so many people who are trying to, and they take their ass whippings from scamming. They're taking their ass whippings from people taking advantage of them. They're taking it. One of my boys, no, I'm gonna say my man David. And we have to realize we're all different types of people. That's why I say that I can't do business anymore with Ghana. But there are people like, man, look, I'm doing business in Ghana. And shout out to my people who are doing business in Ghana. Like I said, I can't cut off the feet of the beast. And then knowing that there are people here who do business. Business is everywhere here. If you want to do business, it's easy to come here and do business. The problem of it is there are headaches, way too more far headaches to deal with business here because of corruption. It's a headache going to get your driver license because you got to pay somebody. It's a headache to go for the immigration. It's a headache to get your ID. It's a headache to get a freaking SIM card. It's a headache to get a daggone your land commissions. It's a headache getting through immigrations. Even when I go to the airport, they're back now begging from people like, did you bring me a gift? It's a headache. Some people that doesn't bother, but for me, it does. My brother David, I had to talk with him, and man, I love my brother. I love my brother because he is so humble. He is, and he's an elder of mine. And I know that the day will come when, hey, it is what it is. He had to walk that out. But he said, go black, let me tell you, brother, man. He said, I know how you are. Hold on a second, y'all. He said, I know how you are, and you've done a lot, man. You brought a lot of attention, man, and freedom to people, man, through your channel and all these things here. He says, this land thing, yeah, is this and that. And he owns land. He got a farm, and then he's got another property, his house and stuff like that. But he said this right here. He said, I have had people, this is what he said, I have had people who, when off of my land I have, come up mad and upset, talking about I owe them. And he's bought the land outright. Papers, everything was done. And his take is that, hey, they no need to argue over this. How can we resolve this? Okay, your family owned the land, but how can we resolve this? No need to fight over anything. And he's like, most people want just a little bit. They just want a little bit so they can go about their business. And I'm a total different type of person, though. I'm like, hell no. I bought this right out, this and that. And ain't nobody should come over trying to squeeze my pockets to try to get more out of me because we don't even know when they're going to return with other people. Everybody will come out the woodwork talk about, hey, it's my family, this and that, and I didn't get no cut of it from my family and this part of my land and I want part of it. I'm not that type of guy. I was not cut from that cloth. Right is right, wrong is wrong. But I understand. I understand because of the fact that you're dealing in a system that is already broken. The system is broken. This is just how a majority of the people behave. It's about trying to get what you think you deserve, whether it's legal or illegal. It don't matter. And so my thing is this right here is that the attitude here is that Ghana stole from me. I'm going to steal from Ghana. Why is it that those who are in power and in positions and in offices and departments get to go ahead and make all this money while we out here don't even have an opportunity, if you will, to try to get above the poverty line, and we're scratching, surviving, living in little huts and all we're trying to do. Now you see behind me, right? You see all these houses and buildings that people are building. Now, I ain't trying to rain on nobody's parade, but I'm going to tell you this right here. Most people who got money, I'm quite sure some of them, I can't say all, are entangled in the web of corruption too. It's just how it is. Now, that may not even be looked at as a way of being looked at being bad. Why? Because I had to really think about this. Think about this. If the government allows to put a blind eye and allows its system to behave in fashions that, hey, if the police department pulls you over and you break the law and they'll go ahead and take some 20 CDs from you, whatever, then you know what? We're not coming after them over that. Oh, for real? You're not going to, so they can just take money? Is this how it works? Well, if I go to a government entity and they're like, yeah, but your paperwork on the internet says that all I got to do is fill out this right here and fill it in. Yeah. Okay. That'll be sitting there forever. So if the government allows a behavior and it's not coming down on that behavior, then am I wrong to get into functions that are not considered to be necessarily illegal? And that is the difference. That is the difference that we need to look at, because what we might call corruption, they may not. Just like I say, man, people be lying to you here, but they don't call it lying. They don't call it lying. They look at it like they tell you whatever they want to tell you in order to get what they want to get. It's just what it is. It's just like, oh yeah, tomorrow I'll be ready. Just say whatever it is off the hip. Oh yeah, you know, my brother, it's going to cost you this amount of this and that, and could be sitting there looking you dead in the face, and it won't be not the truth. I remember back in the day, y'all. I mean, I was born in the 60s. I'll be 58 this year. I remember, we would get in trouble if we used the word lie. Lie was like a bad word. Liar, you liar. We said it to our siblings, right? You're a liar. My mom would be like, better watch your mouth. You don't be saying no liar. You better say telling a story. And I always wonder when I was small, Mom, such and such is in here telling a story. Telling a story? Okay, all right, let's run with that then. Telling a story, but it's not lying. If it's not lying, because what is the difference between story and lying? I never got that answer. But I do know this right here. In my book, dishonesty is very high on my level. If you ever is dishonest to me, I'm done. I'm done. I don't even want to hear no more come out your mouth or anything. I don't want to hear why you did or why you didn't do, or what. I don't want to hear it. Why? Because your word should be your bond. That's the only reputation you have, is your word. And when your word is not true, in America, the government officials sit there and make these promises, and they never keep them. They make them so they can get your vote to get in office, and they don't do anything. And everybody just brush it off. They brush it off like, but look at what they have done. No. We ain't talking about that. We're talking about the fact that they are dishonest. Or this right here. Well, you should vote. Everybody should vote. You should got to vote for the two of the lesser evils. You mean to tell me I should be voting for an evil? You mean it's best to vote than not to vote for an evil? You see, if we're not willing to stand on what is right, then chaos happens. And what's going to happen? Revolution, revolt. People get sick and tired because people are going to feel like they're getting left out. People are going to feel like they can't make moves. They can't get advanced. I got a friend right here, right now, a man that is honest. He's doing his own small business. He's trying to move up. He called me when I was in Tanzania. He said, "Brother Go Black, you was right, man." He said, "Man," I can tell he wanted to cry. It sounded like he wanted to cry. He said, "I got to leave this country, man. I can't get nowhere, man. Every time I'm trying, man, there's somebody who's always trying to take." And I'm like, "Yo, man, what's going on with you?" And he's like, "Man, I'm trying to do my business, man. They're either trying to take my property." I'm gonna do an interview with them. They're either trying to take my property. It's like, but my own people don't want to pay the price, man, for the services he's providing. It's like, trying to get over on the product that he buys. It's like some people try to undercut him on the contracts that he have done, and people not upholding to the contracts that he's done with some of these companies. And it's like, he said, "I'm just done. I can't get nowhere. It's too corrupt." And I'm like, "Well, man, let's talk about it." He got his, I said, "You got your passport. You got to get your passport." He got his passport. I said, "Okay, let's do something." And I'm going to help the brother, because the brother helped me out tremendously. That man got a heart of gold. And I'm going to do something with him outside of Ghana. Brother, man, I mean, he's helped so many people here in Ghana, and he be doing stuff for free. And I'm like, "Brother, charge these people." Because we even got our own people coming here, man, just want people to do stuff for free. And don't even realize these people, man, who have a heart of gold, have little to nothing. Well, the good ones will give the shirt off their back. And yet we can't even compensate them for the little or the grand that they do. That's why I said I can't fault people for leaving a country to go to a place that they would call better ground. The video that I showed this young man, I understand why he thinks what he thinks and believes what he believes. I understand that. But do not think for one moment that damn Erica, put the D in front of America, capitalize the E, damn Erica is not corrupt. You guys got to understand something right here. Look, all of Africa, okay? All of Africa do not have what America has when it comes to pulling the wool over people's eyes as though they're achieving. Their banks don't give their local people loans. America does that in order for you to feel as though that you have achieved when you haven't. Think about it. If there was no loans in America, how would you be able to go ahead and buy a house? You wouldn't have money to afford it. How would you go ahead and buy a car cash? You would not have money enough to afford it, because they know the check that you got, when you divvy it up amongst rent, gas, car note, insurance, cell phone, electricity, clothing, food, kids, wife, vacation, money is gone. And if you didn't have a daggone loaning system, then you would have nothing. This is the problem that I see that is in, not the problem. I see the advantage that most Africans have, because they got to build brick upon brick, money upon money, dollar upon dollar, till they save it to continue to build to have. And I keep telling the African brothers and sisters, you are so more in an advantage than Americans. 90% of Americans don't, well, let me back that up. 48% of the Americans own a house. Now, how many is that? Black people? How many people own their property here? Many people. Multitudes of people own the property. Question is, is it going to be legitimate on paper? But in saying that, in America, disguise is that we can give people loans to make them feel that they have achieved something, so that then they will always be in debt, and yet they haven't achieved anything. At the end of your life, majority of the people, houses are not going to be paid. They're not going to have money to leave for their children. There's little to nothing that's going to be left. So they can have a loaning system, loan you money, and that money will keep you working like a hamster running in his wheel, chasing his tail, never getting to an end. And this is the thing. Here in Ghana, it's a different for us who's coming from other worlds. That's why I tell, go black to Africa. When you go black to Africa, you can never, believe me, there's 54 countries. You don't have to worry about Ghana. I know countries that are out here that are sustainable, that are peaceful, and that are less corrupt. And you're able to do more in that country without having the worries of somebody going to knock at your door and say, this is my land. You know, you're going to have countries that where the police officers are not going to go ahead and gouge your pocket if you have an infraction, and they'll go through the proper procedures in ensuring that you are going to pay for the infraction, rightfully so that money can go into the system, and the money goes to the system, that the system will take care of those things for the people instead of going into the pockets of those who will use it for their own gain. This is the issue. This is the problem. And this is why so many people now are starting to talk more and more, that I'm hearing that their own people are evil and wicked. When you get to that place, when people start thinking that, you got to look at how does history play out. History plays out that it causes dysfunction within a system, that people now begin to uprise. It becomes divisions, divided, and people begin to war against one another. But there is hope. If there is someone who has the accountability to the Most High, who's not willing to be afraid to put his life on the line for the cause of the people, of the system, and the country that they're wanting to better, a lot of these countries out here can thrive. You know, when I was there in Abu Dhabi, and me and my wife was just like flabbergasted. Like, you know, we've been to Dubai and Abu Dhabi. I lived in Kuwait. I lived in Saudi Arabia. I've been to a lot of Muslim countries. And I'm like, you know, what's so amazing is that why are they able to use their resources, and their people are able to enjoy the wealth of the country? How is it that the Western world is digging into the pockets of the Africans, but they don't do that to the Arab nations? You know, it's like the America comes in and pushes the LGBT, but they don't go over to African countries or Arab nations and push the LGBT. Why is it that the Africans can't wake up and realize the fact that if you just do right, the blessings of the Most High will fall upon this nation and everybody can enjoy The very thing that was given by the Most High in the soil, in the ocean, that you can thrive off of. And we all can laugh and drink and eat and be merry. Now we in Dubai and Abu Dhabi and these air places, you know, they're locals. They rolling. They living off the oil. And the colleges are free. They built colleges and universities and they building all these things. They're like, no, our people are not going to suffer. And guess what? We're going to make it to where our people, we're going to make way for everybody to thrive to their ability. Because not everybody's going to build an apartment building. Not everybody has the wit to be able to have their thriving Fortune 500 business. But what we will do is ensure that everybody can reach their full potential. Give them that they can reach their full potential. America doesn't do that. America does not give you the opportunity to reach your full potential. Look, I've gone as far as I can go. That's the sky. That's why America says the sky is the limit. I said Africa's limitless. You can come in here in certain countries and grow. And there's no limit to it. That's why I said the benefit of Ghana is that anything goes. You can come here and do anything. Little to nothing will stop you. And if you got the money, you could do it. That's why I said the corruption spawns evilness. It spawns wickedness. So that people are like, hey, yo, there's no boundaries. There's no structure. You mean I can do? All I got to do is just do this. And if I get caught, I just pay this guy a little money and I'm free. This is the way it is. And am I saying that's wrong? Not if the system allows it. No, because you can't say that if it's illegal in my country, where I come from, it should be illegal here. No. If this country allows that, y'all go get it. Because I mean, I'm not one to support evil. I'm against evil. I'm against evil. But I'm saying is that it's allowed here to do a lot of things that are just go, the eye is turned the other way. Do what you want to do. There's liberty and freedoms. This is the problem that now is stretching America. Everybody wants liberty and freedom to do what they want, say what they want, you know, and all that right there. And yet those who see in America, who look like me, this guy got caught running a house full of drugs, this white guy, and he only got 1 year. And in our stupidity, because we don't realize it ain't fair in America, you go do the same thing and they give you 20 to life. Huh? I watch all those cop shows, them cop videos, and I'm looking like, wow, this joker here can have an infraction with the law and get, you know, probation. Will one of us do the same thing? Oh, 2-3 years. So you got to be wise in how you navigate. So the system tells you, and who's to say it's wrong? You can't say it's wrong if that's what's allowed. So you all who are stuck in America, y'all sitting here complaining about how the system are. Not all of y'all complaining. Some people like, yo, I don't see a big deal. I'm not one caught in that mess. But I'm talking about those who know that justice really is not equal. We all know that. But I'm saying is that if Ghana allows to put a blind eye to things that are illegal in America and you can come do here. Now, I ain't saying crossing the law. I'm saying the fact that there are things that are being overlooked, that are stealing from people, and people are turning around stealing themselves. Good old coconut family. Well, family, I just wanted to put that out there because the fact of it is that, you know, even though I'm in a society that has its way of doing business and it crosses the lines of my morality, I'm not going to fall subject to it. I'm still going to rise above it because I know at the end of the day, I already know consequences, and that's by the Most High. We think that we can get away with everything, but when you cross, because we are a molecular structure, we are connected through this universe that we will call the small galaxy that's connected through the knowledge or the consciousness or the energy form or the powerful source of the creator, that when you cross the line of what is supposed, that was created to be right, even your body will suffer. People don't understand sickness in your body can stem from crossing the lines of righteousness, and it's happening every day. We see people losing their minds. We seeing people run around sick, people dying at young ages because they don't understand that this whole system of this galaxy that we live in is judging based upon the creation, that it must be in the right state of how it is. When you cross the line of it, it will judge you. We need to get out of mind and say, oh yeah, there's a God up there and he's writing everything down, taking who's naughty or nice, this and that. No, it's already been written. This has already been constructed and we're part of it. And when you cross over that line based upon the mercies and the patience of the Most High, because, hey, you know how they say cats have 9 lives? You know what? This is what the Most High said. If my brother fault me, I'm supposed to forgive 70 times 70. That's 240 times. The question of it is, what number are you at? That when then after you have exhausted 240 forgivenesses, the detriment or the judgment that comes. Not like God's gonna rain down. No, it's already in. Let me give you all an example, and I gotta go. I'm about to go meet a king, y'all. Let me give you something right here. Everything has a law. Everything that you see, touch, everything has a law. This phone has a laws to it. We have to obey by laws. This has to obey by laws. If we use this outside of the way it was used, if I say, I'm going to go dive in the ocean, the law of this says you can't go no further than 6 meters. If you go more than 6 meters with this phone, you run a high risk of it getting water inside and ruining it. You will destroy it. If you use it outside, if I plug in a 220 into from an outlet, being here and thinking that it's going to feed it from and its monitor of the appliance that I have at a 120, it was built to be 120. It's going to blow the engine. If anybody knows, I know I burnt out several of my clippers by forgetting. Oh shoot, I forgot to plug it into my converter. Everything has laws. Animals, insects, humans, mammals, everything that we create, because everything has atoms. Everything is built off molecules. Everything is connected to the universe, to the galaxies, to the Most High. And that when you cross the usage, think about us, how we were created. When we were created in a fashion that we know you can't do certain things and cross lines, because if you do, it overtakes you. No, you can't eat that. You eat that, that will kill you. No, you shouldn't be having sex with that, because guess what? That will bring disease on you. Hence, diseases that we know that have not been cured, herpes, HIV, because people were having sex with either animals or man with man that brought on these diseases. That's real. Just keeping it real with y'all. Judgment comes. So then that I know when I'm in these societies and there are things that if they operate their fashion, I'm not ridiculing Ghana. I'm hipping people to the ways of Ghana and its way that it operates. But for me and the people that I know, stay strong on your path of righteousness. Because yeah, I'm like, man, I can do it here in Ghana. I can make a lot of money for what I know from America on the evil side of the house, man. But I'm like, thanks be to the Most High, I'm a changed man. Because it's easily to come and navigate through and become rich off of things that are easily ignored or permitted that you can do. But the judgment from the Most High sits there and it waits at the most inconspicuous time of your life when that exhausted mercy and grace have expired, that now you have to suffer consequences. Many of you all who are out here in these communities, in these lands, in these countries, they think they're going to get over, live their life and live in happy lap luxury. They thinking the money's making them all good and this and that. And they, when they die, we all going to find out the truth. We all find out the truth. But my hope is, according to the scriptures, ancient writings, and the scrolls, it's because of my faithfulness in the Most High and walking the path of righteousness, that the day comes where I will be able to watch the wicked and the evil's judgment fall upon them, that we will celebrate because we overcame. While on this earth, they had their day when they thought they can get over and suppress, oppress, and depress people. But by those who stayed faithful on the righteous path, pushing away evil and wickedness and temptations that come your way, trying to befall you to get you entrapped, entangled, mingled in to the ways of this world, and you stayed faithful, I'm telling you, your days, you are blessed already. For those who don't believe that, you continue on your way, because my hope is that, as the scripture says, even for those who are at the lower degree of allowed, because of the grace and their belief in the Most High and the forgiveness of the judge who gave them to be able to enter in to the new earth, will be the servants of us, who will receive a crown, who will be the leaders or lords over them. That's what my walk is. I'm collecting my rewards as I walk through this life, because the government that I did do, Lord, forgive me for all of that, but I got to spread the goodness of the Most High to people, because when I was doing government, I was working for the evil one. Now I'm working it to get my crown, because my crown that I believe, according to scriptures, is that I would be one over those. Some people say, man, you crazy. You ain't getting none of that. You must be nuts. I'll tell you this right here. I've said this before to some people who don't believe. If we die and there's no God, that's just it. I can at least have left a lasting, loving impression upon this dying earth of people who I have helped and I have shared a hope, a faith with, that they'll continue in warring against evil, so that then this world can at least be at some peace at a level. But if we die and there is a God, woe unto the man. Woe unto the man who didn't believe. Peace and blessings to each and every one of you all. This is your man, not your boy, bringing you another gold nugget that you can either pick up or you can just kick it aside. I'm out, family. I got to roll. Oh, yeah. Look out for my videos that I got coming out. I'm going to be interviewing a king here in Ghana for the Igbo people, where I'm hopefully going to get connected with those in Nigeria, the Igbo people, who are the part of the children of Israel, who's going to give us the history of even us who were taken out of Africa, taken to America, who are part of the lineage of the scriptures that have shown that we are the people that are part of the 12 tribes of Israel. Look for my video tomorrow for those about my tour. I'm still hesitant in doing it, but I'm going to make my mind up after prayer tonight, just seeking to see, should I go and do it at this moment in time that I said I would probably do it in June. I know it's going to be July, if so, because my wife, I want her to be part of that, but look for that in my other videos of my journey, your journey, our journey in this life. I'm out.